I had a pick six in state championship against Folsom, which is like one of the.
How was that feeling? Yeah.
It was the best football memory I've ever had. I mean, like, I still go back and I watch that clip where it's like, there's a clip where it's a guy in the back of the end zone on his phone and he's like, just filming, and it's quiet. Everyone's kind of cheering because this is like second down. We just went 3 and out, and as soon as I catch it, it's like wow. You can hear it. It's like breaking the phone. Like.
Minute, #1 podcast in the universe. We live with Victory Johnson. He's gonna be playing for the CU Buffs this upcoming season, man. I appreciate you for coming on the show.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so you playing linebacker, edge, or?
Yeah. So one of the cool things about like me as a player is that I'm versatile, so I can play both inside as a Mike or a Will or outside as a Sam. So for now, I'm gonna be starting the inside, trying to get a grip on things there. Just try to understand it, and then I could get some reps at Buck later on in the season. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's get into your backstory a little bit. So originally from California, or?
Yes, sir. San Diego, California.
Okay. Born and raised.
I moved all over the place inside of San Diego, but I never left San Diego.
Okay. Were you like pursuing anything else before football, or has it always been football?
I grew up playing basketball, baseball, and football, and I was always like a 3-sport athlete up until when COVID hit, and because California was so strict, we could only basically play 2 sports, and so my football season was 3 games, and then right after that I went straight into baseball, which I was taking more serious, so I dropped basketball after my sophomore year, and then because of the break from COVID, I was basically training for football for about a year and a half and got so behind in baseball, I just decided to focus on football because originally I was going to try to play both in college, but then baseball is such a repetitions game and people play all year long, so to like lose a year and a half, you get so far behind that.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, like, I fell in love with football. Like, there's no other sport that you only have 10 to 15 games a year, and where those games mean so much to you and the fans and everybody else. Like, there's not an environment like football. There's not. It's not the same. And like the team sport where it's like you're truly bonded by like war-ish, like the violence part of it. Like, there's
like
something about that.
With your
literally, there's something about that like bonds you together. It's more than any other sport. So I fell in love with football always.
That's dope. Okay. Real quick, what positions did you play in basketball and baseball, and then we'll dive into like the football career?
Basketball, I was always a center because I was a huge dude. I was always tall. I was always tall when I was a kid. I used to grow probably like 3-4 inches a year. So it was like, get in the paint, like get down there, catch some rebounds for us, go to the high point. It wasn't until I was probably like 12, 13, 14, like those years, like 7th, 8th grade, that I started moving to like point guard because I would sit there outside, and it's kind of where I basketball's kind of like when I learned how to like grind. It was basketball and baseball. It was like I'd sit outside and I'd just dribble for like hours and hours and hours because I didn't want to play center. I didn't want to like just catch rebounds. I wanted to be like
shooting.
I wanted to be like the guy with the ball. So I'd sit there for hours and hours and I'd dribble until I had good enough handles where I could go in. And then freshman year I played JV. I was not that good because I played football for so long, and then came in by the end of the year I was like the 6th, 5th man. So and then baseball I played everything. There was a game that we played a team, I think we like set the record for like most points scored in California or something. I think it was like 40-0 or something. Like, we beat a team so bad in baseball that I played first base, pitcher, catcher, and outfield, like the same game. Like, it was like, I came at first, like, oh, you want to come pitch? I was like, oh, okay, I'll pitch an inning. And I pitched an inning, and I was like, oh, we need a catcher. This guy's gas. So I go catch. Like, but I mainly played first and third, and I was really taking it serious. I was mostly the corners.
You played all 3 in high school at some point? During COVID, you kind of transitioned to focusing on football? After you started focusing more on football, were you starting to get college offers, or like how did you end up getting recruited and end up at CU?
Yeah, so my sophomore year was a 3-game season. A lot of guys got 5 games. Some people had full seasons, but we had a 3-game season in March, and after that season I did pretty well. It was only 3 games, so after that, about a few weeks later, I got a DM from Coach Claiborne, and then we set up to get offered with my coach. So he called my coach. My coach called me. He's like, "Hey, ASU just offered you," and so that was awesome. I got to start that relationship, off.
Hey,
That was
she
my
was
first
in
offer.
Arizona State?
Yes, Arizona State. Yeah. And so that was my first relationship that I got to start building, my first offer, and then I got the Under Armour camp invite, and then I got the Rivals camp invite. Did well at both of those camps, and then offers started coming in. So then I was at a smaller school, Bishops, and when I transferred to Cathedral, which is a bigger school, they're like top in San Diego, top competition. And so my first game, my scrimmage, as I was getting off the bus, this was like, I think before September, so I still couldn't talk to coaches. My head coach, as I was getting off the bus for the scrimmage, was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, like you've been offered by San Diego State, which is our hometown, which is kind of a big deal." So I was like, "Oh man, like that's." So that was my second offer. My third offer was from Coach Smith, the old staff at Colorado, which was about 2 weeks into my season. And then after that, the ball just kept rolling during my junior season. We did really well. Our defense was the best defense I've ever played for. Like we played really well, really fast. We flew the ball, won state. I had a pick six in state championship against Folsom, which is like one of the.
How was that feeling?
Yeah. It was the best football memory I've ever had. I mean, like I still go back and I watch that clip where it's like there's a clip where it's a guy in the back of the end zone on his phone and he's like just filming and it's quiet. Everyone's kind of cheering because this is like second down. We just went 3 and out, and as soon as I catch it, it's like, wow, you can hear it. It's like breaking the phone. Like, it was crazy. And then the whole moment was surreal. It didn't even like hit me until after. But yeah, I mean, after that junior year is when things started really like falling in. I had like 10 offers by the end of it, and then kind of started shutting it down, trying to focus on what schools I really wanted to take serious. Took unofficial visits, scheduled a few officials, and then
Kind of random question, but I know like the state championship game out here is usually played at the Broncos Stadium. Where is it played at? Is it played at SDSU?
Yeah, so we just we didn't have a stadium, so San Diego State didn't have a stadium. And then they built Snapdragon Stadium this past year between my junior and senior's year. So if we would have gone to our CIF, which is like San Diego County Championship, we would have played it at Snapdragon, which is San Diego State's. But junior year there was no stadium, so we played at Escondido. We played Carlsbad. Then the state championship was up north at a JUCO that I can't remember. I think it was not Southwest. It was one of those JUCOs up like between LA and San Diego. So we had to like meet in the middle because Folsom's up Northern California, so they came down.
Yeah, I was also gonna ask too, since like California is a lot bigger than Colorado. I know like we got obviously the 4A, 5A. I'm pretty sure every state has that. But like, is it like the whole state as a whole when it comes to state championships per like 5A, 4A, or is there like you said, is it like sections or like how does it?
So like the way CIF is what it's called. Like CIF is California. It's interclassic something like that's all of California, and then basically it's broken down into sections. So there's a like San Joaquin section up where like Folsom and De La Salle are, and then there's a southern section which is all of LA. That's like the top guys. That's Mater Dei, that's J Sarah, that's Bosco, that's Servite, that's southern section. And then there's San Diego section, which is all San Diego teams. So there's all these different sections, and you play in divisions. So we don't have like 6A. We'll have like open division 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever down. I think in like southern section, like LA, there's like 13 divisions or something like ridiculous. Some crazy amount because it's southern section, And so for the state playoffs, there's like a committee that once you win your county championship for your division, your section championship, then they will match you up against in open division San Diego, who's the best competition for Lincoln. It was Lincoln this year, and they picked whatever school, I forgot which one it was, De La Salle. And it's like, you guys are the best too. You'll play each other to go to the state championship, and then that's how they figure out the brackets. But it's per division, and there's like a ton of divisions. But then the counties will play each other, and then we'll go up to state.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
So, what made you decide to like go to CU then, out of all those different offers?
Yeah. So for me, it really came down to like I wasn't even going to take a visit to Boulder. I was kind of set on Washington, but something about what the culture was bringing, and it wasn't even a good culture at the time, but the relationship I had with Coach Smith at the time was a very, very good relationship. We'd call probably every week. It was very clear to me that I wasn't wanted. I was needed at the program. So I was like, okay, like I need to check this out. Like there's something about this place that's calling me here. And so I sat with my family, went out, took an official. It was the week that they beat Cal, so it was awesome. I mean, the stadium for a team that was 0-4 on a family weekend at a mid-afternoon game, and they sold out. Student section's going crazy. Like it's like
diehard fans.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, what other school has this? Like I'm looking at some of the other schools that were doing so well early on, and it's like nobody's there. Like the fact that the fans were so loyal is like, and I fell in love with Boulder as a city. San Diego is beautiful. Like it's always sunny. It's always like super nice. And like here, there's true seasons. Like in the summer, it's super nice. In the winter, it's gonna be cold. Like I wanted to experience like all of those things, and like Boulder's so beautiful, and the campus is beautiful, and then all the facilities are insanely nice. And I was like, talked to my family, and I was like, even if, because we knew like the coaching staff was gonna be changing, and so we had to like plan for that. But like as a university, as like a football program, with like all of the tools that they have, there's so much potential for the school and for me, and with NIL, even like with how loyal the fan base is, like there's going to be people there to support me, and there's early playing time in hand as well. So that's when I decided to commit here, right before Coach Prime got hired. So then a few weeks later, Coach Prime got hired.
We
have like a group chat, and I'm sure there's been a bunch of stories about this, but like we were all excited for about 12 hours, and then everyone started freaking out because no one had heard from the new staff, and we kind of started to see like offers going out from the new staff, but we hadn't been in contact as commit. So we were like, what's going on? Like, and then 2 days later, Coach Hart had called me, and he was like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I want to get to know you. You're re-offered. We want you to come up here this weekend for another official. You can do that with NCAA rules, so we're going to get you out this weekend. And then I had like 2 or 3 more calls with Coach Hart to build that relationship, and then came with us the other weekend, and then I mean, fell in love even more with what that new staff was doing. I mean, only about half the staff was still there because a lot of those guys had bowl games. Coach Kelly had a bowl game still. He was in the one of the New Year's 6 bowls, and so just building a relationship with Coach Hart and what Coach Prime, his vision for this program, and he saw what I saw, which is the like massive potential for what this could be this year, next year, and for the years after that. And so, I mean, I had a shadow of doubt that I was going to stay here and sign here. So after that, it was clear.
Okay. Were you there at that first meeting with Coach Prime, like after you first got hired? And what was the energy like in the room?
I thought so. I already met Coach Brewster. Everyone talks about this Coach Brewster clip because I mean it's awesome. I mean, I had already met Coach Brewster. He was around me and my brother because my brother took his unofficial visit after he transferred from Cal with me on my official. So we were with Coach Hart, Coach Brewster pretty much the whole time. And so I had got to know Coach Brewster like personally. I know how like kind he is and how like genuine he is. So when he hopped up and he had that like that fire in him, the flame. I mean, he told us to pop up. I popped up, man. I had the biggest smile on my face. I was so excited. I think there was guys that were nervous because they didn't know him. They were like, "Oh gosh, we're back in the army. Like we're stuck here." And I was like, "Nah, it's good." I mean, I was super excited. I know I looked over at my brother and he was laughing. There's like the energy that he's gonna bring. Just Coach Brewster, from that meeting, like. He's gonna, because as linebackers we're competing against tight ends, so like the energy he brings every day is gonna rub off, and it brings his culture. And from guys like Coach Hart as well. Coach Hart he's a straight shooter. He's not gonna maneuver around it. He's gonna tell you how it is, and he's gonna tell you what he sees. And you can talk with him. He'll be straight up to the point, but he's also a genuine guy. and then Coach Prime laying out some of those ground rules. I know those guys are like, why can't we wear slides? Like, why can't? Yeah. It reminded me of, because I just watched it Last Chance U with Coach Jason Brown, and where everyone would like critique him because he wouldn't let guys wear slides or earrings and stuff like that. It made me get a new appreciation for him, for Coach Prime, because he pays attention to the little things.
Right.
And that was something in high school that Coach Doyle, my high school coach, had always taught us, is like, to build a championship culture, you have to pay attention to little things. That means toes are behind the line at all times. When we are going around our lap, we're not cutting the corner. Like, all of the little things you have to take care of. Like, we're all going to be in the same uniform. Like, and it's things that seem like pointless, and it's like, why are we doing this? But any championship team that you see, Alabama, Georgia, these top programs, it's the little things that they pay attention to. So I was like, yeah, like this, if I could get any more faith for Coach Prime, I was like, yeah, like he definitely knows like what's going on. I don't think a lot of guys didn't like that, but that for me, I was like, that's such a great sign.
Right.
So.
And even to go off your point, like you look at like the greatest athletes of all time, like the Kobe's, the Jordans, you know, they always talk about, you know, the little like running, like wind sprints and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Make sure you are touching that line and getting back, and practicing like you're playing in a game, little stuff like that, like you said, builds character, you know, championship quality teams and stuff. So
for sure,
that's dope. When like, you know, it's kind of like a meme that's viral now about the Louis luggage and stuff. Like, did that? It sounds like that more so motivated you rather than like scared you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like for me, pressure is always something that is going to breed success. Like if you talk, I mean, there's all these analogies. Like diamonds are made from insanely high heat and pressure. Grapes are made from crushing. Like all these things, anything great, gold, like if you take 18 karat gold versus 24 karat gold, the only difference is that 24 karat gold went through more heat, and so it's more pure, and therefore it's more valuable. Like there's all these analogies, but like when you go through adversity, when you're facing, okay, there's an Alabama 5-star linebacker transfer coming in, there's Levanta Bentley, who's a beast coming from Clemson, top guy. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh gosh, like no, I'm not gonna play early now. Like it's like this is a chance for me to learn from like some of the best guys, some of the best linebackers, and it's that iron sharpens iron. Like when the pressure's on, that's how you get better. I wouldn't want to be stagnant. I don't want to be like the smartest person in the room at any time. I don't want to be the best player in the room at any time. Like so for him to be like, I'm bringing all these guys, it's like that's perfect. Like I need that for me to be better as a player and as a person, and to develop like winning habits. Like if you go to these workouts, you'll see Levante is, after every workout, he's doing core exercises, he's doing mobility, he's doing something extra after every workout. And so I'll go and do that with him, and then all of a sudden all of the linebackers are now doing that after every workout. And so even the guys like Shane Cooks is a guy that is there for like 30 minutes after the workout. It's like doing all these things, core workout, and when it's an optional workout, he's there the entire time. Like these are guys that have a winning culture, and so I'm not going to be afraid of the competition. I can just learn from that, and I'm a freshman still. I still have time to learn and develop, and that's not to say that I have any doubt of my abilities or that I can't play this year, but like I'm not afraid of that. That's something that motivates me and excites me.
Right. What kind of advice would you give to another recruit? Because you came out as a 3-star, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What kind of advice would you give to recruits who may be a 3-star recruit, or you know what I'm saying? I guess you could look at it as a positive and negative, because some people ain't even playing college football, right? Yeah. But then like you brought up, you know, coming from a 3-star, working with you know, people from Clemson, Alabama,
top 20 players. Yeah.
How do you like motivate other or give advice to other potential 3-star recruits, and you know, stick with those other high-end recruits?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I never even saw myself as like a 3-star. I was always, okay, if I'm a 3-star, let me go look at who's a 4-star, who's a 5-star, and I was like, not against any of those guys, but I have faith in like what I can bring to the table as a player. I don't think there's any other player that's as big, as strong, as fast, as versatile, as smart as me. And so as a player, like, have faith in yourself. Like, what do you as a player bring to the table? Because there's guys, like, if you look at, I think there was some graphic with the top, all pro defense, whatever. I was like, there are 5 stars on that thing, but there's also not ranked guys. There's 3 stars. Like, it is very evenly split. So if you have faith in your abilities and you see like what you could be rather than what you are right now, like if you're a guy that has a ton of potential and you see that, like, I see myself as someone who has a ton of potential. I think there's a ton of athletic ability that I am just starting to unlock as I like grow into my body, because I just stopped growing like sophomore year. So like as I grow into a better athlete, I see high potential in myself. And so for you, if there's people and there's the rankings that are you're a 3-star or whatever, like you're a low star guy, like take that as motivation, but don't pay attention too much to it, because ultimately you're the one that's going out there and playing. The rankings aren't. And everyone says it like, oh, rankings don't matter in college. Like, I was like, I feel like they kind of do. They don't matter at all. Like, when you get in there, it's, are you doing the right things? Are you taking care of your body? Are you lifting? Are you healthy? Can you move? Like, they don't even know, like, I don't even think they remember like what kind of star ranking they are. Like, it's like,
I don't remember Brian Urlacher's
it's like no one remembers those type of things, and like they don't care. Like, it's about what do you bring to the table. Like, for me, I as a 3-star, like I bring in freshman year right now, like I'm big, fast, strong, athletic, and I'll know the game. Like, so that's what I bring to the table. So like for you, like if you're one of those guys, just what do you bring to the table, and focus on that.
Okay, dope. What's it like? You brought up your brothers gonna be playing SU too.
Yeah.
So what's that gonna be like playing with your brothers?
Yeah, I mean, it's my parents. It's a dream come true. I mean, when I was thinking about it, I was like, my brother, he was at Cal, so he enjoyed that experience, and it was kind of a like,
so now it makes sense even more why the Cal game.
Right. Yeah. That's even like crazier. It's like it was like the one game I was there was Cal lost to Colorado, and my brother went to Cal at the time, and so it's like it was this whole like surreal thing. But yeah, he enjoyed Cal, like he enjoyed the opportunity, and I felt like for him that there was coaches that could see him at a much higher potential, that like they see what he brings and like the player he could become. And so after the portal opened, hit him up. I was like, hey, like I'm gonna get you in contact with the coaches here at Colorado. I want to get you to know these guys. Like, hopefully we can get here on a visit. I don't know, but if that's something you want to do, then whatever. And so he entered his name in the portal, like right as soon as he could do it, declared. And then was in talks with Coach Brew, got him out here. He loved it, committed on the visit, and as a PWO. And so he like, for me and my family, like that means a lot to have both of us guys, even for like NIL opportunities. Like, it's brothers are named like Victory and Champion. So like there's plenty of NIL opportunities with that. Like, so to get 2 brothers to be on the same team, like even Shiloh and Shador. Shiloh's not here, but to have like brothers, like to have family there together, that's something that you rarely ever see, like even D1, but to be on the same team, I mean, it's a truly great opportunity, and I think it's something great for my family and for both of us.
All right, that's dope. Is there any like specific games you're excited for with the upcoming season, or how are you looking at it? The upcoming schedule?
I'm super excited for Nebraska and Colorado State. I think both of those are home games. I didn't even know that Nebraska was our rival, to be honest, because we're gonna play them in like forever. So
they were both in the Big 12. So
it was like the Big East, or I don't know, but I looked into the history of it. It's like, this is a huge rivalry, and so
Rocky Mountain Showdown.
Bringing it back, and so we get to play CSU at home, Nebraska at home. Like, the energy that the fans are gonna bring, like, those are gonna be sold out games, for sure. And so when we come out, like, fans going nuts, like that game environment is something I'm super excited to be there and witness for. So those will be 2 great games I'm excited for.
I've been talking to a lot of my fellow like bloggers and interviewers and stuff like that, and everyone's talking about like the first 5 games and like how tough it's going to be. Like you brought up to CSU, Nebraska, but then I think TCU's the first
TCU's
game,
the first
and then
game.
you got Oregon, I believe, and USC.
I think Oregon's the 5th game. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough.
It's gonna be tough. How do you guys prepare for the tough start, and do you have any like expectations or goals for the upcoming season?
I think for us as a team, like where we're at right now, we're focusing on how can we maximize our potential and what we can do as a team together and who we are. Like we kind of have to find our identity as well, because there's so many new guys, like 40 new guys, and so to mesh as a team and maximize what we can do right now is kind of our focus. I think later on when we start preparing for these teams, we'll start focusing on them. But I mean, I count it as a blessing as well. I came from a high school that our Coach Doyle, was very adamant about playing top competition. I mean, this last year, I think we were 6-6, and the teams we lost to were De La Salle, Centennial's top 25 team in the nation. Chandler was a top 25 team in the nation. Mater Dei, Catholic, 1 state. Lincoln, 1 state. It's like 5 out of our 6 losses are like, this is top competition. These are the guys that you bring in. Last year we played Chaminade, we played Centennial, we played De La Salle, like played Folsom. Like that's what breeds championship teams, is playing teams that are at that level. And so when you play the Utahs and the Oregons and the SCs and even the Washingtons, like Washington's a top 15, top 10 team in the nation, and they're returning a ton of guys. Like we played, I don't think we played them this year, but like next year when we play those teams, they're in the pack. And so when we play these teams, like that's what creates championship teams. Like yes, we're still developing. We're coming off a 1-11 season. Like any improvement is an improvement, but for us, like we're focusing on what can we do to become the best team we can right now, and then we'll focus on the competition later, but we're not afraid of that. I think that's something that's going to make us better.
Okay. Do you have any personal goals for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, again, I have faith in myself. I think I could be a freshman All-American. I want to get a lot of playing time as much as I can and show what I can do at inside, outside, whatever position, even if it starts on kickoff. Like that's where a guy I watch all the time, ask any linebacker that's like they watch Reuben Foster at Alabama. He had a neck pad on, he'd come on kickoff and he flew down and lit up Leonard Fournette, and he was a dude that was feared by every defense when he was at LSU. A guy that couldn't be tackled, he lit him up on kickoff, and then since then, like, he was a starter and he was an impact player, and he was one of the best linebackers to come out of Bama back then. So for me, like, I want to be one of those impact guys that comes in like right now. That's why I came in early, so I can get developed, I can start getting ready. And so for me, being a freshman All-American is like that's not a dream, it's a goal. Like, I think it's something I can 100% do.
That's the mindset you gotta have.
Yeah.
First off, actually, what are you studying, and then like, do you have plans or goals with the NFL?
Yeah, so I'm studying information science. I'll probably go on to get a master's in. They just got a new program called artificial intelligence. So I was going to minor in computer science with the artificial intelligence, but I'll probably just get a master's degree in artificial intelligence because I'm on a track right now to graduate in 3 years. So I'll be done after my junior year, graduate, and then so if I want to go to the league, I'll have my degree, and if not, I can stay for another year for my senior year, get my master's, and so after that, plan on. I've always been like a math guy. I've always been able to like understand the concepts. It's never been something that's like frustrating to me, and I've loved digital technology. That's something that like I fell in love with when it started getting really developed, and like AI has been like so incredibly interesting as a field for me. And so I kind of took all those things together. I was interested in psychology. I was like, how do I bridge all these things? And so information science or informatics, whatever you want to call it, is basically an area of like human-centered perspective on digital technology and how can it impact other people? How does it influence people's behavior? Like, what are the algorithms and whatnot? And So for me, I feel like I'm someone who can go into like the business world and be like a communicator, like a translator almost of like take all this data, and it's like business owners don't necessarily understand that. I can feel like I can translate that data so that it can be more useful to a business or a strength coach or whatever it needs to be. So that's something I feel like I could do.
Okay, that's awesome. With the new NIL rules, how do you feel like that's a positive for college athletes like yourself, and like does that make you happy that you're kind of coming in at the right time?
Yeah, so I feel like NIL right now is going uphill. I've kind of caught like the uphill movement of it, which is amazing. I think that was always something I never really understood as a kid watching college football. I was like, why aren't they allowed to make money? Like that should be something that's free to anybody to do. And so, especially with like my name, like there's opportunities that are coming, like and things that we could do NIL wise. And so I feel like that opens the doors for a ton of people, and it emphasizes like the importance of like getting your name and getting your brand now, which I think is amazing for college athletes.
Okay, cool. Well, this has been a cool interview, legendary interview. I appreciate you for coming on the show. Do you have any final thoughts, shout outs, last things you want to speak on?
Shout out Qui-Gon, boys back at home know what that means. Shout out my family, love them, praise God. Follow my Instagram, Victory Johnson, it's 2 N's at the end. Hopefully I'll get my blue check soon. It's loading, get it in there. And shout out Mile High Sports.
I appreciate you, man. You got Twitter too?
Twitter is Victory Caleb.
Okay. And make sure y'all go follow Victory Johnson on everything, Instagram, Twitter. All links will be in the description of this interview. Make sure you go follow Mile High on everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. All links will be in the description. Comment down below what you think the CU Buffs record is going to be this upcoming season. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button, stay notified when all the latest news drops. Mile High Minute, live from Boulder, Colorado. Mile High Minute, #1 podcast universe. We appreciate it.